If 2025 felt like it was just moving at the speed of sound, you are absolutely not alone.
Oh, not at all.
It felt so fast, relentless.
Yeah.
And if you're anything like me, you're probably looking back now and seeing, well, a few moments where you could have done better.
Right.
Where you stepped right into the same pitfall you swore you'd avoid back in January.
And that's the feeling we're all trying to get away from, isn't it? That sort of quiet disappointment.
Yeah.
When you realize you've repeated a mistake, and not because you weren't trying, but because maybe your strategy was flawed or your focus was just a little bit off.
It's that good.
This moment right now, this pivot point between one year and the next, it's the perfect time to just stop, to pause, and really distill what we learned from those missteps.
Turning wasted energy into wisdom. I like that.
That's the goal.
I think what everyone really wants is to figure out in a concrete way how not to repeat those same mistakes next year. We all want to improve, but, the path is usually buried under this mountain of information and just competing priorities.
So much noise.
We need simple, effective strategies, things that actually cut through all that noise.
And that is precisely our mission for this deep dive. We've gone through a lot of material on this, all focused on reflection and real actionable change. And we've boiled it down into 10 simple but extremely useful lessons.
Okay.
These are lessons on self-improvement, physical health, how we learn, and really critically, how we navigate the world and the people around us.
So it's holistic. It's not just about work or productivity.
Not at all. The goal isn't just to list them out. We want to explore them, thoroughly so they really sink in. We're trying to give you a kind of shortcut, a blueprint for a better 2026 mindset, all grounded in practical insights.
And we want to explore these clearly, slowly. The last thing anyone needs right now is more information overload. That's usually the cause of the very mistakes we're trying to fix in the first place.
A very good point.
We want these ideas to be immediately applicable.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Where do we begin?
We begin at the foundation, protecting what we put into our minds and our bodies. All right, lesson 1. This one is all about mental clarity. And it centers entirely on what we're feeding our brains every single day.
Our information diet.
Exactly. I mean, the sheer volume of information online it's just staggering. It feels like a continuous tidal wave that never, ever rests.
And the massive trap here is believing that to be well-informed, you have to consume all of it, or even most of it.
Right.
And that constant, exhausting effort to keep up,
Yeah.
it just leads to this chronic mental fatigue.
It really does. And that exhaustion is accelerated by what some people call brain rot content.
That's a great term for it. It's not just useless information. This is content that's engineered, really, to aggressively exploit your attention. It's loud, it's fast, it's always updating.
But it gives you nothing back, nothing of substance.
Nothing of lasting value.
I think we've all been there, right? It's like eating a huge bag of chips when you're starving. You consume a lot, but you feel worse afterwards.
That's a perfect analogy.
I remember one story, someone describing their habit of just scrolling through short-form videos late at night, video after video, just this endless stream of stimulus, and then they look up and suddenly it's past midnight.
And the next day, the fatigue isn't just physical from the lost sleep, is it?
No, it's profoundly mental. You feel foggy, unfocused.
Well, there's a cognitive process at play there. It's called intermittent reinforcement.
Right.
These platforms, they're designed just like slot machines. The reward, that funny video, that interesting fact, it's unpredictable. So your brain stays hooked, searching for the next little hit of novelty.
And that takes a lot of energy.
An enormous amount of cognitive load, but with zero productive output. Your brain feels like it's working hard, but it's really just running this demanding, kind of meaningless program that leaves your attention reserves totally empty for the next day.
And here's where it gets even more insidious, I think,
Right.
because sometimes the content isn't even obviously brain rot. It can look benign, Successful entrepreneurs, amazing travel videos.
Right, the highlight reels.
Exactly, the highlight reels. And that triggers what we call the comparison trap.
It's almost impossible for our brains not to do that. You're seeing the curated 0.1% of someone's best life, and you immediately start that internal dialogue.
Why don't I have that?
Why am I not doing that? Why am I not as disciplined as them? Even if you were having a great day 5 minutes before opening the app, that one comparison can just instantly tank your sense of well-being.
It's like borrowing unhappiness from a fictional world. So, okay, if we know this is happening, we need some kind of defense mechanism, a filter.
A simple and non-negotiable one. The test is this. Before you dive in, you ask yourself honestly, will this piece of content help me improve myself, my skills, or my life in a meaningful way?
And if the answer is no?
If the answer is genuinely no, you skip it. You have to be ruthless about it. The goal is to only let in what feeds you.
So you're curating your own mental space.
Precisely. You don't need to know everything that happened on social media this morning. You just need to know what helps you move closer to your goals. Honestly, choosing ignorance over low-quality information is a superpower.
Okay, so that's the mind. Moving to the body, our second foundational lesson is, well, it's something we all say we know. Health is number one.
We say it all the time. Intellectually, everyone agrees.
But we constantly violate it, don't we? We fall into the trap of prioritizing work, money, deadlines.
All of the immediate demands.
Right, and it leads to staying up too late, skipping a workout, grabbing whatever food is fastest. So why do we do that? Why do we keep ignoring this essential truth?
I think it's because the rewards from work and money feel immediate. They're quantifiable. You see the result right away.
But the benefit of an extra hour of sleep is fuzzier.
Exactly. But there's a powerful way to reframe this, and it's called the money versus energy equation.
Okay.
While money is, of course, vital for living, and yes, it can pay for medicine and hospital bills, it fundamentally cannot buy back your energy once you are truly sick.
That's a really important distinction, the idea that money can't fix everything.
It really can't. Think about it. When your health really fails, even the simplest tasks, like washing the dishes or going to the grocery store, they become monumental challenges.
They feel impossible?
Overwhelming. And here's the reality check people often miss. Medicine can't make you better right away. Recovery from a serious illness is a long, demanding, often lonely process. The time and energy you lose in that period, you can't buy that back at any price.
You're basically saying that health is the platform that everything else is built on. Without it, you can't really use the money or success you were chasing in the first place.
That's it, exactly. When you're healthy, physically and mentally, everything else just gets easier. Your thinking is clearer, you're more efficient, you're more emotionally stable.
You have more resilience.
You have more reserves for everything, and yet we struggle with the basics.
So if the stakes are that high, what's the solution? Is it complicated?
No, and that's the key. It's not about complex biohacking. The solution is just consistently doing the profound basics.
Which are?
Sleep enough, eat better, and by that I mean fuel your body intelligently, and exercise every day. Even if it's just a brisk 20-minute walk.
It all comes down to consistency then. These are simple things, but doing them day after day, that's the real challenge.
That is the challenge. But the payoff is exponential. These habits compound. By taking care of your body first, you are preloading every other part of your life for success. It's the ultimate form of self-investment.
So we've protected our core inputs, mind and body. Now we turn inward. This next section is all about cultivating internal strength, our mindset, our discipline, our growth.
Right, how we manage our inner world.
And the first lesson here feels really countercultural. Stay quiet to grow better.
It does, doesn't it? In an age of oversharing. But the evidence behind it is quite compelling. The idea is that broadcasting your intentions can actually slow you down, or even stop you completely.
The pattern I found fascinating was this. The more someone talked about their plans, posting their big goals online or telling everyone at dinner,
the less they actually seem to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you use up all the energy that should be going into doing the work on just talking about the work. It's an energy drain.
There's a psychological reason for that. It's a concept called social reality. When you announce your goal, your brain gets a little hit of validation and praise.
So it feels like you've already achieved something.
It tricks your brain into feeling a sense of completion without any of the actual effort. That little dopamine rush can actually rob you of the deep internal drive you need for the hard, often boring day-to-day work.
Okay, but I have to push back a little here. What about accountability? Telling someone your goal so they can help you stick to it, isn't keeping quiet a form of isolation?
That's a great question, and it's a critical distinction. The danger isn't in strategic input, it's in broadcasting for validation.
Oh, okay.
The second major danger of talking too much is exposing your idea to a flood of external opinions before it's ready. If you tell 10 people your ambitious plan, you might get 8 responses of doubt or negativity.
And that can really hurt your confidence, right?
It can kill it before you even start. You end up fighting this battle in your head before you've even taken the first step.
So it's not never tell anyone, it's choose your counsel wisely.
Precisely. And the positive outcome of being quieter is purely internal. When you reduce all that external noise, you gain clarity. You start to hear myself better.
You can distinguish between what you really want and what other people want for you.
Yes. Or what society says is a good goal. That internal listening is the real engine of growth. So the takeaway is a discipline of quiet execution. Get better quietly. Focus on the work without needing to show anything to anyone until it's ready.
Okay, next up, emotions decide outcomes. This one hits home for everyone, I think. We've all had that moment of saying or doing something while emotionally hijacked.
Oh, absolutely. The cost of losing control. You say something in anger, you send that furious email.
And you regret it almost instantly. The key realization is that in that moment, it wasn't you driving, it was the emotion.
And the cost can be catastrophic. There's a powerful way to frame this called the time-to-action ratio.
The time-to-action ratio. Tell me more.
The idea is this. 1 minute of anger can destroy a chance. 1 calm decision can save your whole plan.
Wow.
Think about it. A single aggressive email sent in a moment of fury can undo weeks of careful relationship building. A panicked financial decision can wipe out months of gains.
That microburst of emotion has macro consequences. But the challenge is, when that emotion hits, that frustration, that anger, it feels unstoppable.
That's because of what's happening in your brain. When strong emotions spike, your limbic system, your fight-or-flight response, takes over. It effectively shuts down your prefrontal cortex.
The rational part of your brain.
Exactly. The part responsible for planning and good judgment. You literally cannot be highly emotional and highly rational at the same time.
So what's the intervention? How do you stop it?
You have to intentionally introduce a pause, a mandatory pause. When you feel those emotions rising, you just stop. You take a deep breath, even just for 10 seconds. That's often enough for the surge to subside and for your rational brain to come back online.
Yeah. I remember reading a great anecdote about this. Someone gets a really rude, aggressive message.
And the immediate impulse is physical, right? Your heart races, your fingers are itching to type back an even bigger comeback.
Yes. But instead of reacting, this person physically walked away from their phone for 10 minutes, just let that initial surge pass.
And when they came back, they could reread it calmly. They answered strategically, just focusing on the actual problem that needed solving.
And it fixed the problem instead of creating a bigger mess.
Exactly. It disarmed the whole situation. That's the power of the pause. It gives you back your clear thinking. And when you have that, you have immense power. Calmness isn't weakness. It's a sign of ultimate control.
This next one, less is more in learning, is so relevant for our audience. The too much trap. We feel like we have to read every book, watch every tutorial, take every course, all at once.
It's the pressure of information overload applied to our own growth.
I've definitely been there. You try to watch videos on 10 different topics in one day, and at the end of it, you don't remember any of it. You just feel intellectually exhausted.
That's a symptom of surface learning.
Yeah.
And it leads to a really critical question. What is the point of knowing many things if you can't actually use them?
Right. If you can't apply them.
Learning too much too fast just gives you shallow understanding. You're just accumulating facts without building the framework to turn them into real skills.
So the successful strategy is a pivot to focus. Work on one thing, not 10, and practice that one thing until you really get it.
Quality over quantity. There's a powerful analogy for this using language learning. Let's say you're learning English.
Okay.
The common mistake is trying to master all 12 tenses of English grammar at the same time. It's paralyzing cognitive overload.
So what's the less is more approach?
You start simple. You just master the present simple and the past simple. That's it. Because the goal is utility. With just those 2 tenses, you can communicate effectively and confidently without having to stop and think about complex grammar rules. It reduces your cognitive load immediately.
So you can actually have a conversation. You can say, I drink coffee every morning, and it gets the job done. You don't need to struggle with, I have been drinking coffee.
Exactly. The simple version is faster, clearer, and you're less likely to make a mistake. And once that simple stuff becomes second nature, once it's truly easy, then you can move on to the harder levels. You build complexity on a strong, simple foundation.
All right, this next lesson is a really interesting one. Embrace gentle discipline.
This challenges a very deep-seated belief for a lot of people.
It really does. When you hear the word discipline, you immediately think of harshness, right? Self-punishment, forcing yourself to do unpleasant things.
The no pain, no gain mentality.
Yeah. We think discipline has to hurt to be effective, but this idea of gentle discipline is the complete opposite.
It's a profound shift. Gentle discipline is just making yourself do the necessary things, but in a softer and kinder way. The crucial difference is your motivation.
How so?
You're doing something because you want to get better, because you want the positive result, not because you have to out of some sense of obligation or fear of punishing yourself.
I can see how that changes the whole psychology of it. A task is no longer the scary thing you're being forced to do. There's no sense of punishment if you miss a day or mess up.
And that removes the all-or-nothing cycle that destroys most people's motivation. Harsh discipline works for a little while, but it's not sustainable. It leads to burnout, and then you crash and give up completely.
So gentle discipline is about the long game.
It's about maintenance. If you miss a day at the gym, instead of beating yourself up and deciding the whole plan is ruined, you just treat yourself with kindness, acknowledge it happened, and start again tomorrow.
So the kindness is actually the fuel for consistency. It's not the enemy of it.
Precisely. When self-compassion is part of the process, it's so much easier to stay consistent and keep moving forward without sabotaging yourself. Gentle discipline is proactive and sustainable. Harsh discipline is reactive and short-lived.
Okay, we've built up our internal resilience. Now we shift our focus outward to the external world. Specifically, the people we allow into our space and the pace at which we operate.
These external factors have a huge influence on our success.
Let's start with this one. Choose your people wisely. The core idea here is that people truly affect our energy.
It's not a vague, fluffy concept. It's a measurable dynamic. There's an exchange of psychological energy.
We've all felt this. You spend time with certain people and you just feel drained afterward. Even if they don't mean to be, their negativity or their constant complaining it takes something from you.
It requires emotional labor to be around them, and that depletes your reserves. You feel physically tired after being with them.
And that energy spreads, doesn't it?
It's contagious. Negativity spreads easily. But the good news is, so does positivity. So does enthusiasm and a growth mindset.
Which leads to the idea of keeper friends, the people you talk to who actually give you energy.
Yes. They lift you up. They make you feel like you can do anything. Those are the relationships that fuel you.
But here's the really hard part. What do you do when the negative person isn't just a casual acquaintance? What if it's a long-term friend or a family member?
That is the biggest challenge. It requires real emotional maturity. It's easy to say just cut them out, but that's not always possible or even what you want to do.
So what's the strategy?
You have to recognize that your energy is a finite resource. It's a strategic asset, and you have to protect it. You don't have to sever the relationship, but you can love them from a distance.
What does that look like in practice, loving from a distance?
It means you manage your exposure. You can limit how often you interact. You can keep conversations shorter. You can set boundaries so their negativity doesn't dominate your headspace.
So you're not letting them into the daily workings of your life where they can deplete the energy you need for your own growth.
Exactly. It's an act of self-preservation, not selfishness. People will either lift you up or hold you back. You have to choose your associations wisely.
All right, the next lesson is about radical empowerment. Depend on yourself. It starts by confronting something I think we all do, which is the waiting game.
Right. When we face a big problem, we sometimes unconsciously wait for someone else to solve it for us. A boss, a mentor.
We're waiting for Superman to save the day.
And the hard truth is, Superman only lives in the movies. Nobody is coming to magically fix your situation.
That's a tough pill to swallow, but also weirdly freeing.
It is, because waiting for that external salvation just leads to missed opportunities and stagnation. The only real solution is self-reliance. Waiting makes you passive, and passivity makes you feel helpless.
But the moment you decide to take action yourself, the power shifts immediately.
It does. Even if it's imperfect action, you start doing things, you get stronger, you get better. You're no longer outsourcing your own potential.
And you learn through failure, right?
That's the primary way we learn. By doing. Even if your first few attempts fail, you're gaining critical knowledge. You're adapting. You're building real confidence that no one can take away from you.
Okay, let's clarify something important, though. This isn't about never asking for help, is it?
Not at all. Asking for specific, targeted help is smart and strategic. But waiting for help is dangerous. Waiting is passive. Asking is active.
That's a great distinction.
The help might be late, or it might not be what you need, but if you've already started moving, you're already ahead. At the end of the day, the best thing you can do is stand on your own 2 feet.
This last one in this section is maybe the most counterintuitive of all, especially for high achievers. Slow down to reach places faster.
We are so culturally conditioned to rush, to always feel like we need to do more, be faster, get more. If we're not sprinting, we feel guilty.
But this is based on a fundamental mistake. The idea is that strategically slowing down actually helps you get where you're going faster.
The paradox is solved when you look at the real cost of speed.
So why does rushing make us slow?
Because when you're going too fast, you get tunnel vision. You miss critical information. You miss the signs telling you you're going in the wrong direction. You miss the small details that end up being essential.
You skip a crucial step in a project to save 5 minutes, but then you spend 5 hours fixing the mistake later.
Exactly that. And it applies to learning, too. If you rush through complex lessons just to feel like you're moving fast, your brain can't actually process the information properly. You have very low retention.
So you exert maximum effort for minimum gain.
Right. This boils down to a simple truth. Understanding is speed. When you slow down, you ensure you understand things deeply. That comprehension prevents the massive time waste that comes from fixing mistakes and relearning things later.
Being fast means nothing if you don't get to the right place.
Sometimes the fastest thing you can do is just stop. Look around carefully, figure out exactly where you are and where you need to go, and then continue with focused, intentional momentum.
Okay, so we've built the internal and external scaffolding. This brings us to our final section, the execution principle, how we actually deploy our energy to get things done.
And this last lesson ties it all together. Focus on one thing at a time. The ultimate critique of multitasking. Yes. The temptation is huge, isn't it? You try to juggle 10 things at once because you think you'll finish faster. It sounds like optimization.
But the reality of how our brains work completely sabotages that strategy. We think we're a supercomputer, but we're not.
No, we're not. And we pay a heavy price for trying, which is this devastating brain drain.
So what's actually happening in the brain when we try to multitask?
Well, what we call multitasking is actually rapid task switching. And every time you switch your attention from task A to task B, your brain pays what's called a switching cost.
A switching cost.
It's the cognitive load required to shut down the context for the old task and load up all the rules and memories for the new one. It might feel instant, but it's not.
And that cost must add up really quickly.
It does. If you switch your attention dozens of times in an hour, your brain is spending a huge amount of energy just on the transition, not on the actual work. It gets too tired. You lose the ability to focus on anything.
And you end up feeling lost and making careless mistakes.
Exactly. The clear path forward is deceptively simple. Focus intensely on one thing, finish it, set it aside, and then start the next.
But people are afraid that will make them slow.
It's the opposite. And this is the final compelling argument. Singular focus creates efficiency through quality.
How so?
When you give 100% of your attention to one task, you do it right the first time. You don't waste time going back to fix errors or reread instructions. So focusing on one thing actually helps you work faster and better in the long run. It's the key to precision, quality, and sustainable speed.
Wow. Okay, that was that was a really thorough deep dive. Taking all of that and distilling it down into 10 fundamental strategies. It's about ensuring next year is driven by intention, not just reaction.
These are powerful lessons, so let's just run through them one last time to really let them sink in.
Good idea.
To build a stronger, clearer year, you need to 1. Choose your information well, filter out the noise.
2. Put your health first. Energy can't be bought.
3. Grow quietly. Do the work without needing the praise.
4. Stay calm. Use that 10-second pause.
5. Learn less but better. Quality over quantity.
6. Embrace gentle discipline. Be kind to be consistent.
7. Choose your people wisely. Protect your energy.
8. Depend on yourself. No one is coming to save you.
9. Slow down to see clearly. Rushing causes errors.
And 10. Focus on one thing at a time. To execute with speed and quality.
When you look at all 10 of those together, a core philosophy emerges, doesn't it?
It really does. It's a philosophy of subtraction. It's not about adding more. It's about choosing less but choosing better.
Absolutely. When you choose less low-quality information, less negativity, fewer simultaneous goals, and less self-criticism, you gain a dramatically higher quality of focus, output, and, well, life.
Less is truly more.
It's the ultimate message of efficiency. When you simplify your focus and choose quality over volume, you become fundamentally stronger.
So for everyone listening right now, here's the challenge. What is one small, manageable step you can take right now? based on this. Not 10 things, just one.
One is enough to start.
Maybe it's that 10-second pause before you send that stressful email. Maybe it's just creating a boundary around your information diet for the next 24 hours. Maybe it's deciding to slow down on just one project to ensure you get it right.
Don't try to change everything at once. That's a recipe for burnout.
Exactly. One small, strategic, conscious step is enough to start pivoting toward a better next year. Start there.